What's up? What's up? What's up? How's everybody doing tonight? I hope everybody's doing great. Tonight, I'm just coming to talk about the Yanni, a little Yanni health. Our diet has a lot to do with our Yanni health. So I just want to chat about that. Earlier today, Cosmic Mind UV did part one, so I'm going to come in and do part two about the Yanni. They sacred Yanni. We need that for health, wealth, and protection. But that's a different story. But first, I'd like to promote my show tonight. Who You With Wednesdays, we're going to have For the Love of Polly at 9 o'clock Central tonight. We're going to talk about anything and everything Polly. So come out, hang out with us, bring all your questions and your concerns. Let's talk about it. Anything you want to know, we have the perfect couple. They start on the show, uh, Love Don't Judge, you know. So come on and ask them any concerns you might have. I have a few questions that I want to know. So I know if I have 1,000 questions, somebody else have 1,000 questions. So come on out and get those questions answered. But right now we're going to jump right into talking about how can you take care of the Yanni. First of all, what is the Yanni? The Yanni is what life brings life. Is uh, literally and symbolically uh, the womb or the source. It's the female genitalia. It's your baby. It is the first woman, part of a woman that you should learn how to love. But it's usually the last part that we learn how to love. It also holds the divine feminine energy. It's also known as the cosmic womb or the source of creation. It's a symbol of goddess worship. All right, so we at what the Yanni is. So how can we take care of that Yanni? And what does the Yanni mean to us? The Yanni is feminine empowerment. It's sacred sexuality, and it is nurturing and intuitive. Intuitive. Physical effects of diet on Yanni health. Vaginal pH balance and microbiome. A healthy Yanni is slightly acidic. That's 3.8 and 4.5, and is home to beneficial bacteria. So basically, what they're saying that some bacteria is good bacteria. So when we use certain products, when ladies use certain products like Summer's Eve and different things like that, it washes away the natural bacteria that you need in your body to help you balance out the bad bacteria. So that's why a lot of women have, recurring yeast infections because they use the unhealthy product, which wipes away the natural bacteria that we need for our body for her to thrive. Um, Helpful foods that you can eat for like probiotics, yogurt, and with the yogurt, I would prefer non-milk yogurt because milk is not good for you; it's acidic for your body. For us melanated women, anyhow, kefir, sauerkraut, kimchi, it all promote healthy vaginal microbiome. We also need prebiotics, which is garlic, onions, asparagus, oats. They help feed the beneficial bacteria. And we all know about cranberries. They prevent UTIs. One way we can all prevent, um, odors and different things like that is staying hydrated. with water-rich foods like cucumbers, watermelon, celery, different things like that that provide adequate hydration to improve natural vaginal lubrication, and also not wearing pants that are so tight where your yoni don't get to breathe. Your yoni needs airflow, so if you always have on tight pants, um, you don't get the proper circulation. That could also um, lead up to unhealthy bacteria growth. We need our omega 3s. You can get that from flax seeds, walnuts, fatty fish. Um, I wouldn't recommend fish. I would recommend any meat for that matter because, meat is not good for our bodies. It has in it, and it also can throw our pH off. Um, so a plant-based diet is the best diet. We also need to avoid irritants like excessive sugar because that can cause overgrowth of yeast, and overgrowth of yeast will lead to a yeast infection. Um, and believe it or not, processed food, too much processed food, alcohol, and even caffeine, it disrupts and throws your hormonal balance off. Um, it also increases vaginal dryness and irritation, inflammation. So we need to find healthier ways to incorporate caffeine into the diet, or something with the same effect as caffeine. You need to take caffeine out of your diet and add something to give you the same effect as the caffeine because the caffeine is not good for our hormones. The Ayurvedic view of the Yoni and diet. The Yoni is linked to the Svadhisthana chakra or the sacral chakra, the sacral energy center in the Kapha and Pitta dosha. Foods to nourish the yoni energetically. Sweet, cooling, grounding foods such as coconut, water, dates, ghee, sweet fruits, herbs like Savatari, a premier female tonic that supports vaginal moisture and fertility. Ashkoka and Lodora balance menstrual cycles and vaginal health. Avoid overly spicy, hot, or dry foods if there is vaginal dryness or inflammation. Tantric and energetic perspectives. Tantric traditions view the yoni not just as a physical organ, but as a sacred energy portal. Foods that dull the senses, cause heaviness, or block energy flow are discouraged. What's recommended is a sattvic diet, which includes fresh fruits, vegetables, whole grains, nuts, and seeds, which promote clarity and high vibration. We should avoid overprocessed, stale, or attachment foods such as meat, alcohol, heavy fried food, um, as they are thought to dull sexual and spiritual energy. All right, so the summary for the best foods for a healthy and sacred yoni. The first category is hydration, and some examples are water, coconut water, and cucumbers. For probiotics, we have yogurt, kefir, and kimchi. Which, if you're gonna do yogurt, once again, do the non-dairy yogurt because milk is not good for us. We're not animals, so why are you drinking milk that's produced for cows? Okay, so the healthy fats are avocados, flaxseed, and ghee. Some good antioxidants. You can get that through berries, green tea, or leafy greens. The Ayurvedic herbs, shatavari, turmeric, and trip. So, what's the best diet for the yoni? The best diet for the yoni supports vaginal health, hormonal balance, hydration, microbiome, microbiome health, and sexual vitality, while also nurturing the feminine energy from an Ayurvedic or spiritual perspective. The ideal Yoni nourishing diet, hydrating and moisture supportive foods. These These support natural lubrication and elasticity. Water, 2 to 3 liters daily. Coconut water, cucumbers, watermelon, zucchini, soups and broths. Omega rich three omega 3 rich foods. Flax seeds, chia seeds, walnuts, probiotic rich foods to balance vaginal flora and maintain optimal pH. And flora is just another word for scent or fragrance. Yogurt, unsweetened and non dairy. Kefir, sauerkraut, kimchi, miso, and temp. And here's a tip: combine them with prebiotics like garlic, leeks, and onions to feed good bacteria. Number three, we're going to talk about hormone balancing and fertility supporting foods. These regulate menstrual cycles and support reproductive vitality. Dark leafy greens, kale, spinach, and collard greens. And we love us some greens, so why not just add it in our diet consistently and just instead of on the holidays where you only eat it a couple times a year because of what do they call Christmas or Thanksgiving. Just add it into your diet so it can keep your yoni healthy. And when you cook the spinach, kale, greens, or anything in the leafy vegetable, you don't have to add meat to it. Add some vegetables. Or you can even add whole grains like quinoa, brown rice, or millet. Um, just to beef it up. Eh, Different kind of vegetables, peppers. Um, you can add legumes like lentils, chickpeas, anything you want to. Um, and another, uh, another something that else that is good for hormone balancing and fertility is seeds like sesame seeds, sunflower seeds, pumpkin seeds, um, photoestrogenic foods like flax seeds and fenugreek. So some foods that are cleansing and detoxing for the yoni. They keep you clear of toxins. It reduces yeast and prevents odor. Cranberries or cranberry juice, the unsweetened kind. Parsley and cilantro, lemon water, beets and celery. Sacred feminine and sattvic foods to nourish the feminine energy and balance the chakra, the sacral chakra. Dates, figs, pomegranates, raw honey in moderation, turmeric and cardamom, fresh fruits, steamed vegetables, herbal tea. One thing we need to avoid or limit is refined sugar because it'll help us avoid infections, dryness, and energetic stagnation. Highly processed foods, caffeine and alcohol because it dehydrates and it throws our hormones off balance. I know a lot of people don't want to hear this, but we need to avoid red meat and fried food because it's energetically heavy. Just imagine the animal that um, gave his life in the way that he gave his life for your food. That negative energy, you put that negative energy into your body. So, yeah, non-organic dairy, well, honestly, no dairy, um, or hormone-laden food. And right now, I just want to thank everybody for listening and everything that we're talking about. I want you to just implement that, the small little parts. You can take small little steps. and implement it into your daily life so you can clean up your wounds, so your yoni can be so your yoni can flourish. When you have a healthy yoni, you have a healthy mind. So one thing that is easy for us to do is to stop eating meat, get off the dairy. You know, a lot of we've been coddled for too long, and it's a hard truth. And I know a lot of people have seen that movie, um, Who Cloned Tyrone. It tells you everything. And if you've seen that movie and still eat meat, or if you still seen that movie and still getting perms and using all of these unnatural products, or not looking at labels to see what you're putting inside of your body, uh, then shame on you, because we have to do better, and it takes one person at a time. We can't keep on saying how we need to change, but you're not making a change. Um, and on that note, I like to say, come on out and hang with us tonight as we talk about For the Love of Polly. All of your questions can be answered. I know, like I said, I have a few myself concerns, all of that, everything. We're going to figure out exactly what this poly thing is about. And one thing we do know is not just a fad, it's a way of life. Um, it's not enough men, one, out here for us women. So we need to work together. That's one thing we need to do. So come on out so we can hear a few more reasons why poly is the way of life. All right, let's get back to this Yanni health. All right, for some optimal enhancements, you can use herbal teas such as raspberry leaf, which tones the uterus, chamomile, which soothes the uterus, and that'll be good for when you're on your cycle. Get you some chamomile tea, and it's very soothing. Get you some nettle tea, which is iron rich, and yes, iron is good. And I'm not a doctor, so I'm just giving a little information that I know, that I've come to understand. We have different makeups, overstands that I've come to overstand. We have different makeups. We have different anatomy, us melanated women. So we need chlorophyll for our body. Like I say, iron is good, but we need chlorophyll to help our bodies thrive. Different supplements such as vitamin D, magnesium, zinc, and probiotics, whatever's needed. And anything else, just drop it in the comments and let me know what other probiotics, that you know of, or any other vitamins or teas that'll be good for the yoni to help support the yoni. We all know about Yanni steam. If not, that's when you basically make a tea for your Yanni. So you get the tea, you let your herbs steep, transfer it to your Yanni tub, and you sit over that for 10 to 15, 20, 30 minutes. Let that steam just clean her on out. Um, it helps, after you have a cycle, after you had intercourse, after you got through a bad relationship, breakup, any negative energy, any stagnant energy. It helps, cleanse all of that out, and help dissolve any negative energy that's in the yoni. Basically, just think about when you get in a hot tub, how it steams your body up. Imagine what it's doing for your yoni when the steam is just directed to help cleanse. And that's just showing her how much appreciation and love we have for her. But anyhow, some of the herbs you can use is mugwort, rose, calendula. It's different kinds of hibiscus, lavender. And once again, don't just go grabbing different herbs, mixing them together, and making a steam bath for your yoni. Make sure you're not. Make sure it won't irritate it. Make sure you are not allergic to it. Make sure you don't have any reactions before you get before you let sit her on any steam. All right, so here's a sample of a Yanni friendly meal plan. In the morning, you can drink some warm lemon water, eat some oats and flax seeds with berries, herbal tea. For lunch, canola bowl with spinach, chickpeas, beets, or tahini, a side of sauerkraut, or anything fermented with some coconut water. For a snack, you can have dates and walnuts, and throw back some raspberry leaf tea. For dinner, you can have, you can do a sweet potato, steamed broccoli. Um, I'm thinking maybe tofu. I don't know. I know I'm breaking away from the tofu. So I take that back. No tofu. Arugula salad, something like that. Avocado oil. Before bed, you can do maybe like a warm turmeric tea with almond milk, or a warm almond milk turmeric tea, something like that. So now we're going to talk about the top herbs for Yanni health. The Shavati, which is the asparagus racemacis, the queen of wombs herbs. It supports vaginal moisture, fertility, libido, and hormone balance. It's great for dryness, low libido, and menstrual irregularity. You use it by taking a teaspoon of powder, add it to warm almond milk with honey, or just take a capsule. Red raspberry leaf, which tones the uterus and pelvic muscles. It eases menstrual cramps and regulates cycle. It's great for postpartum and wound health. You drink it as a tea. You just use 1 tablespoon of the dried leaves and let it steep for 10 to 15 minutes. Drink it as a tea. Calendula, which is antibacterial or anti-inflammatory. It helps soothe irritation, inflammation, or infection. You use it by infusing it in an oil for a massage, for a Yanni massage. You add it to Yanni steam or use it in sitz baths or a wash. And then you also have the Dong Kai, which is the Angelica sinensis. It is traditional Chinese herb for hormonal balance and menstrual flow. It enhances blood flow to the pelvic region. It's not for use during pregnancy or with heavy periods. You use it as a tincture or in capsule form. Then you have the borage or the daminia. It supports libido, hormonal vitality, and stress relief. The ashwagandha calms cortisol levels. Stress, stress can suppress vaginal lubrication. So, if you're wondering why you dry, check the stress level. Stress level may be too high. Here's some herbal oils for the Yanni massage. Yanni self massage with herbal oils can increase circulation, support natural lubrication, it relieves tension, deepens sacred connection to the body. Popular Yanni oils are Shivari, G, or Ashkoka infused sesame oil, calendula, and chamomile infused coconut oil, used externally only, not for internal insertion unless prepared specifically for it. So basically, what they're saying is don't go sticking um, crazy different oils up inside of you. You can have a bad reaction. For Yanni steaming, which is a traditional womb cleaning practice, it cleanses the uterus, it supports pH balance, relieves cramp and stagnation. It connects you energetically with the womb. Common herbs to use is mugwort for cleaning, lavender for calming, rose petals for heart opening, calendula for anti-inflammatory, basil or oregano for anti fungal. How to use: place the herbs in a bowl of hot water. Sit over it with a steam stool or carefully positioned chair for 20 minutes. Do not steam if pregnant, during active menstruation, or if you have an infection. A couple notes and cautions. Always source herbs organically. Consult an herbalist or practitioner if you're pregnant or if you're on medication. If you have specific health conditions, herbal remedies work best when combined with a clean diet, hydration, and emotional balance. All right, so basically, we as melanated women, we need to work a little bit harder. We need to clean out our diet. That's the beginning of the beginning. Once we start cleaning up our diet, a lot of the quote unquote diseases or ailments that we have will naturally go away because we'll be eating live foods instead of feeding ourselves with the poison that we have. And I know everybody's going to say, well, everything is poison. Yeah, 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 but you can also choose your poison. You can choose this piece of vegetable or this fresh fruit over this dead, rotting flesh. You know, it's a no-brainer. Or the smelly seafood. And yes, I used to be one of those. I used to love me some shrimp and some crab legs and the seafood boil and the barbecue. But when you know better, you do better. Once I cut out the decaying flesh, my energy level is up. I can think better. My attitude is better. I'm not angry. I don't feel like it's just something else going on, or I just don't crave or have the urge to want to eat some chicken or, eat some eggs or a BLT or whatever. I feel motivated to do something different, and instead of doing the things that I used to do. It's like when you want to do better, when you want better, you do better. And it just takes one small step at a time. And we always talk about and speak about how, we are goddesses and queens, and we are in our own right. But if you're not taking care of yourself, then you're not. You're just talking. Coulda, woulda, shoulda. It's time out for coddling ourselves. And on that note, I'm out of here. And I'd like to say thank you so much for giving me your energy, your space, and come out with us tonight. We're going to have a great show, Who You With Wednesdays with Empress Star and Cosmic Mind. Peace.